Woo-wee! Well, that must mean it's a Friday night here on the Paranormal Portal. Hope y'all are doing great. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and this is the Paranormal Portal. This is your home for all things paranormal, weird, and unusual, including cryptids, UFOs, aliens, extraterrestrials, all the stuff you just saw in the pre-roll there, the intro. But we have a lot to get to tonight. Remember, folks, tomorrow night here on the Paranormal Portal, we'll be welcoming back our wonderful Paranormal Portal psychic, Mrs. Deborah Varner will be joining us, and she'll be doing free readings to callers of the show. So if you tune in tomorrow night right here on YouTube, then you can call in using the number that'll appear down here. It'll be the same call-in number as always, but you can call in and have Deb give you a free psychic reading. And that can be about, your finance or your love life or a job or, whatever you want to know. I mean, Deb's really been doing this for years here on the show, and she never disappoints. And just a wonderful, amazing person, and I'm real happy to be having her back. And it just is a big thank you to all of you who are here, because Deb gives of herself freely and shares these gifts with all of us, and so it's a really phenomenal experience, and I love it when Deb comes on. So I'm looking forward to that, and hope you guys will join us. And that'll be tomorrow night, Saturday night, the 11th, at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can get a free reading of your own. So tune in, and if you are planning on calling in, call in early. Call in early and hold the line, because then you'll get to your reading sooner. Unfortunately, it takes some time. So the hold line gets a little long, but we will get to everybody. Deb always does overtime, and that's fine. And we hope you guys will take part in it and enjoy it. So that'll be tomorrow night here on the show. I'm not alone here tonight. I'm joined by the big branch of my personal family tree. Mr. Sheldon Thomas is here with me. How you doing, buddy?
Unbelievable. I am here on a Friday night. How unusual, but I am feeling great. Hopefully everyone out there is feeling great. And hopefully, Dad, you're feeling great. How are you feeling?
Just great. Everybody's great.
Fantastic.
And I'm speaking for everybody. We're all great. I hope you guys are great. Hi, Portal Mom. Good to see you. Good to see you, Mom. It's always wonderful to see Mom pulling in and all of you guys pulling in. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Are you excited for some paranormal fun and hijinks, Sheldon?
Always.
Well, you came to the right place, boy. Because we got plenty. We're, of course, going to get to the news coming up in just a moment here. And then after that, we'll get to the question of the week from our Discord server. And then I actually got a surprise edition of Trail Cam Terrors for you guys. And this is a recent capture that I'm really excited to share with you because I think it's incredibly profound. I think so. It's an amazing capture. I shared it with Sheldon before, actually a few days ago, didn't I? And it's pretty spectacular. You don't see this kind of capture very often. Now, the beauty of this one is I actually know who captured it. I know the background of the capture, and I know the technical prowess of the person that captured it. And there's no chance that there's any kind of forgery or fakery involved. So I'll be excited to show you guys that in a little bit, as well as we're going to dive into the cryptid corner and maybe some other stuff. We'll just see what we get to. But we got some stories from Sasquatch Chronicles coming up on tonight's show. And if we have time, some phantoms and monsters as well. So lots going on here. Sheldon, what do you think?
I'm ready to just dive right in.
Okay. Just motorboating it. Well, I'm ready.
You brought it there, just so you know.
I'm just, I appreciate your eagerness and anticipation. So let's get after some news and start it all off. And we'll see where we end up here. So we are going commercial free tonight, by the way, too. So there'll be no commercial breaks unless you guys need one. Then just you can excuse yourself, or maybe we'll take one if I need one. Maybe,
yeah, true.
Maybe, but we'll see what's going on. So let's get to some news and find out what's going on in the Paranormal Portal news desk right now. Did you know that we're the most trusted news? Well, we are. So in our first news item for the night, this is not an article or anything, but it's just nice to get more of these contributions from my request from all of you guys out there to submit art pieces that you do, whether it's crayons on some scratch paper or scribble drawings or whatever. We've got some beautiful submissions so far. Got a beautiful image of actually an acrylic art piece of a Bigfoot leaning on a fence post with a kind of a backstory on it. It's not based on a factual event, but just a really cool story, and it really just warmed my heart. It was the very first one we received. And then second, we received a ceramic Bigfoot print, which was awesome. It's just beautiful. And now we got another submission from Last Light, chatter known as Last Light here on the show. And he says, hope you're enjoying what I've included here for you guys. Just a heads up, I think he might have had a run-in with the dog man. And I want to point out to you his TikTok channel as well, because he plugged it in on here. So let me just pull it up first, if you don't mind, because I think it's really cool. But it's 3D printing. First of all, let me just show you what he sent in. And here's the keychain. It's a Bigfoot keychain with a little I don't know, clip on the top of it, but it's just awesome. And it's 3D printed. He puts these together and it's amazing. So I hope you guys are seeing that okay. The camera's far away. But But wait, there's more. And it's standing right back here next to the moon. And that is this sexy guy. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
That was 3D printed. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh my God. That looks so good.
It's really good. It's so cool. I mean, I'm just blown away. You know, when I put out this call for things for the studio and stuff, I would have been happy with just crayon stick figures and stuff people drew in and, said, here it is. This is me. But I've gotten these amazing pieces, and it's just wonderful. Now, it's not a competition, just so you know. If you're not really artistic, cool. I don't care if you crochet or you whatever, you craft, woodwork, whatever you want to do. If you want to submit something for me to put up in the studio, I'd be happy to do that. And so this is my Sasquatch figure, 3D printed, again, from Last Light. And his TikTok is RB3D Printing. And let me pull that up quick so we can have a look at it.
Agreed.
Agreed? But he's done some beautiful stuff. I've drooled all over his TikTok. And if you guys want, follow it. Is this the one? Yeah, not really the browser I wanted to use, but that's okay. All right, let me just pull this up because it's just really, really cool. All right, so no, I don't want that. What is that? I don't want that. No, how do I do it? How do I stop that? Oh, dear God.
Cutting in and out.
Well, that's because there was an autoplays TikToks on there. I forgot about that. Yeah, so derp.
I see.
Let me try that again. Let me do All right. How do I do this? TikTok.com, maybe /RB3D printing. Let's try that. Nope, I got a 404 on that one. Let's just search, though, because at least it brought up the TikTok 404.
Yeah, I found it right away.
How? What did you do?
Just typed in Google. RB3D printing.
Oh, way to go, Captain Famous. Wonderful. All right. I want to go to the videos. Why does it want me to do this stuff? Oh, my God. I'm using the wrong damn browser. This didn't go as smoothly as I thought. Huh? I'm using one that I don't usually use. Oh, God, this is a pain. Hold on.
Yeah, there's the video of the one he made the Sasquatch. Oh,
yeah, you see that, yeah? Let me just try it. Let me try your advice. RB3D printing. And this is, again, on TikTok. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Boy, that worked a lot better.
Wow, what do you know?
What do you know? Thank you, Sheldon. There's a good thing you're here. Well, I'm dorking it up. You'd never know I used to work IT. My God.
Yeah, nope.
Nope, you'd never know that from this. But here's his channel. And you can see all the things he's printed. He made a stand for his X-Wing Lego thing. He made a baby Yoda. He's made, I don't know what you can see. I better pull up the other thing. Yeah, some of it's off screen, but Darth Maul. He made that gold coin thing. John Wick. Are you serious? I mean, this is amazing. And Godzilla. Yeah, isn't that cool? Awesome. It's really cool. He's got Godzilla like wake surfing. That's awesome. Yeah, and there's more. There's so much more here. So check it out. Give him a follow over there. And thank you so much, Last Light. That is so cool. I really appreciate it. I'm honored. And if you want to submit something of your own to the Portal Studio, then by all means, head over to paranormalportal.net and look at the P.O. box in the bottom of that page, and that's where you can send them to. So I hope you guys will do that. I really have been blown away by all of this. So, I mean, I didn't know what to expect when I put the call out, but I literally have a really incredible collection forming because of all of your talent out there. So thank you. So that's first up in the news. And my efforts to pull up the TikTok didn't work well at all. But let's get to some actual news here. Again, thank you to Rachel, who sent me a couple other news sources, one of which has really long articles and the other one has some shorter ones that we're going to plug in one or two of at the end of the normal unexplained-mysteries articles that I pulled up. And the first one is from unexplained-mysteries.com. And this is actually to do with UFOs, folks. So is this another step in the journey towards disclosure, official disclosure? Well, maybe, I don't know. But unexplained-mysteries.com reports U.S. Congressman claims government is reverse engineering alien tech. Well, I think many of us suspected that, but let's see what the article says. It says Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett is certainly no stranger to making out their claims. Wow, that doesn't establish a lot of credibility for the guy. About UFOs and aliens, speaking during a recent interview with Newsweek, Burchett stated that he believed the U.S. government had recovered a craft at some point and possible beings. I think he's referring to Roswell. I think it has a lot to. I think that a lot of that's being reverse engineered right now, but we just don't understand it, he said. His claims follow on from comments he made back in January after the Pentagon's Office of the Director of National Intelligence, or ODNI, released its long-awaited report on UFOs. Yeah, all 20-some pages of it or whatever it was. It was it took them a year to fabricate that. Like, just literally very few pages and often redacted. So it's like, oh, thank you. This really closes so many gaps. This thing is a huge cover-up for whatever reason, he said, and I just feel like America is ready. We need to know and to stop with all the shenanigans. If you were human and make the turns that have been seen in some of this footage, you would really literally turn into a catch-up package. I mean, you would be gone. It's not showing a vapor trail. It's something else out of this world. We've been covering this thing up since the 40s, since Roswell, or before then, I believe. Well, that's some bold statements. I'm glad somebody's making them, but, unfortunately, I don't know that they're giving him a whole lot of latitude with this. It's like, oh, look what Goofy's saying over there,
Well, yeah.
But
at the very least, they're putting pressure. They're putting pressure on this information being released, which is good.
Yeah, and I think, according to some recent polls, I think more people are open to the idea of UFOs than not, actually. That as time goes on, I don't know, I heard a number like 60%. And, polls are polls. You can kind of take them or leave them, I guess. But, it's curious. It's, that maybe people are more ready than they're given credit for, but they use people as the excuse so that they can hold on to the information longer, because knowledge is power. And if you don't got the knowledge, you don't got the power. So I think that has more to do with technology. But anyway, simply acknowledging that, you people are seeing something out there. We don't know what it is, but we're looking into it would go a long way, I think. I mean, that's just a real benign, answer. And they kind of did that with the Tic Tac craft, those videos from the Nimitz and such from 2014 and earlier. It's like, they kind of said, hey, look, we don't know what these things are for sure, but we're not saying they're alien. Well, okay, fair enough. We don't know they're alien, but there's something we don't know, and we should probably know if we can know. Unless we can't know, then we won't know,
Exactly.
Thank you. I'm here all night. That's just off the cuff, Sheldon. That's just how clever it is here.
You're just so funny.
I don't know. It kind of made me laugh. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the first article up for bat here on the Paranormal Portal News. Next up, we have another article, which is good because otherwise this would be really short. All right. The next article is also from unexplained-mysteries.com. And this one is having to do with a strange case. Everybody, I think, is familiar with the whole Cocaine Bear movie.
Yeah.
All right. Full exposure here. Cocaine Bear is based on a true story. However, the true story is nowhere near as fantastic as the Hollywood version that they've created. Basically, I'm just going to throw this up. Here's a huge spoiler. The true story is that some guy was hiking through the woods, making progress, and all of a sudden he came into a clearing and saw a big lump of something, got a little closer and realized, oh my God, that's a bear. And so he backed up carefully. He was, freaked out because the bear didn't move. He wasn't attacking, wasn't doing anything. So he's like, okay, it didn't hear me. It's sleeping. I'm backing up. So he backed up, went behind a rock, kept peeking, and the bear never moved, never did anything. It's like, what the hell's going on? So he walked up again and realized the bear was dead.
Oh,
It was absolutely dead. And then we're like, well, this is weird. So he kind of didn't think much more about it, left the woods. And it wasn't until like a day or two later that, he ended up mentioning it to some people. And I think, I don't remember, but as how the real story goes, but I think there was also him seeing some torn up packs and didn't really know what to do with it. Well, he alerted authorities, and they ended up going in and having him show them where the bear was. They got the bear, and they brought it in and did an autopsy on it, and its stomach was full of cocaine. Absolutely packed with cocaine. Like, this thing just ate a lot of cocaine. And I don't know, I guess bears kind of just eat whatever's not rocks, apparently. But it ate a ton of cocaine and basically didn't go far. So they went and checked the area around the bear, and about 300 feet or maybe yards away, they found these torn up packs. So what happened was there was some smugglers going on. They were being followed by the feds in their airplane, and so they freaked out and dumped out their packs of cocaine that they were smuggling over the forests. And this black bear came along and thought it smelled interesting and ate all of it. And so the bear ate all of it, traveled about 300 feet, and then died. It's like he stroked out. So that's Cocaine Bear, the true story. That's the honest to God, that's the true story.
Yeah.
Now Hollywood took that and made this rampaging beast that's all tweaked out on coke. So so when it says based on true story, that's what that means. So,
extremely loosely based.
yeah, like it might have been driven by the truth at some point, and that script might have been waved over the truth, and then I don't know. That was strange, but it's
AKA the first 10 minutes are true. After that, nah.
After the bear eats the cocaine, fiction.
yeah.
That's the whole thing there. So I just want to let you know, but it's Hollywood, so whatever. But the story is that there's apparently, according to unexplained-mysteries.com, there's a mystery surrounds exotic cat that tested positive for cocaine.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Maybe animals dig cocaine. I don't know what the hell the deal is there. I don't think there's much palatable about it, is it? It's just a white powder. It's not like it's sweet, right? So what is it about? I don't know. Maybe they get all tweaked out. Let's see what it says, though. Authorities are attempting to determine how an injured serval wildcat found in Ohio had the illicit drug in its system. Well, how did they just manage to tox screen a wild cat? It's like, hey, we got this wild cat. Well, let's give him a drug test. I mean, don't you have to kind of test specifically for things? Why were they looking for cocaine? Anyway, typical to Africa, the animal named Amiri was found by animal control wardens who had been responding to reports of a leopard in Oakley. Yeah, it does kind of look like a leopard, but it's a little skinnier, I think. In Oakley, the large cat, which reportedly suffered from a broken leg during efforts to remove it from the top of a tree, is now being looked after by the Cincinnati Animal Care, CAC. Our initial thought was the cat was a hybrid F1 Savannah, which is legal to own in Ohio, but our expert was pretty certain Amiri was a serval, which is illegal to own. The animal shelter's community engagement manager, Ray Anderson, told WLWT. The strangest thing about the incident, however, was that the feline tested positive for cocaine. Okay. Well, I guess servals like to party. Now we can't say how the animal got the cocaine in the system. Well, I'm sure they weren't like, he didn't slip somebody a 20, did he? I mean, he obviously got it from whoever had him. Said Anderson, I don't know if it was environmental or experimental. The cat's owner who has not been charged, is reportedly cooperating with officials, but so far no explanation for the narcotics found in its system has been forthcoming. On the plus side, the shelter has since reported that the feline is recovering well. Well, that's good. I mean, my God.
Good.
Yeah, the cat didn't ask for any of this, but yeah, I hope they, since it's illegal for them to just rehome it, I hope that, some zoo or something picks it up and has them on display and gives them a nice home or pen or whatever. But wow.
Yeah.
That's weird. Cocaine cat. That'll be the sequel to Cocaine Bear. Now wait till Hollywood gets a hold of this story. You'll see how this grows. It'll become a lion.
I was literally thinking the same thing. It'll be like, nah, that's too small of a cat. We got to go lion. Yeah.
It's got to be a lion. Yeah, or a tiger, and it's got to get into somebody's cocaine stash and then go crazy.
Yep.
You watch. There'll be a sequel, Cocaine Cat. That'll be the next one. And if I'm right, I want, super chats from everybody.
yeah, of course.
No, I'm just kidding. But that is funny. That is really bizarre. But that's the true story. Watch how that script gets written. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this day.
Remember this day. They will rue the day. All right. Here we got some. What happened? What?
Verdicuda says they're working on Meth Gator.
Meth Gator. But he's got no teeth.
True.
It just gums you to death.
It's just a comedy. Yeah, it's not even a horror.
It's Meth Gator. It's got no teeth. Yep. It's really skinny. It doesn't sleep ever. Meth Gator. Oh my God. You guys are great. All right. Here's the next story up. Meth Gator. That's hilarious. All right. Here comes the next story. And this actually has to do with Malaysia Airlines, actually. That mystery plane that kind of just disappeared. And from unexplained-mysteries.com, did MH370 crash thousands of miles away in the South China Sea? Well, they've just been way off course. One researcher claims to have found evidence to suggest that the doomed flight did not crash where people thought it did. Exactly what happened to Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 after it took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport on March 8th, 2014, still remains one of the most enduring mysteries in aviation history. Numerous theories have arisen over the years, but by now it seems increasingly likely that the plane and its passengers were flown intentionally to their doom by its pilot for reasons unknown. Locating the wreckage, however, has proven almost impossible, with extensive search efforts conducted over several years failing to locate the whereabouts of the plane. Now, though, Cindy Hendry, who has been part of a crowdsourced effort to search satellite imagery for signs of the plane, has revealed that she discovered what appeared to be the plane debris in the South China Sea just a few days after MH370 had gone missing. When she tried to get the word out, however, her find was ignored because the plane was thought to have crashed in the Indian Ocean several thousands of miles away. More recently, she even claimed that to have found a piece of the wreckage bearing a letter M, which happens to be almost perfect match for the Malaysia Airlines logo on the missing plane. Yeah, I think maybe somebody should listen to her. The satellite images were empty. It was just blackness of the sea, she said, during a segment of the new Netflix documentary about the incident. When you press next, more black scans, so much black. And then finally, there's something white. I pulled the schematics off the internet for the Boeing 777, and I was able to identify a piece as a nose cone. And that's when I started saying, holy crap, there's a piece of the debris. There's the airplane. And then I started seeing more pieces, and then something that looked like a fuselage, something that looked like the tail. I got goosebumps. Whether or not what she had found was the wreckage of flight MH370, however, remains unclear. Yeah, because you actually have to go there and look. You can't just, it didn't crash there, it crashed in the Indian Ocean. Well, something crashed there, so go check it out. Maybe that's a good answer. Yeah. So that's very, very tragic. Horrible story. I don't know. My heart goes out to those families. That would be agony and sustained agony not to know. You can't even really put your loved one to rest. That's,
you have to wonder.
Yeah. You gotta wonder, but maybe the truth will yet surface. Thank you.
Oh, stop it. God.
Come on, that was kind of clever, right? I even knew I did that one. Too soon. It was 2014. My God. How much time do we need here?
10 more years.
10 more years. It was kind of clever. I even knew I did that one. Usually I do them by accident,
God.
but that one actually occurred to me. I was like, oh, wait.
Oh, God. The dark part of me says good job, but the light part
Thank
of me
you.
says no.
Let's just celebrate that dark part for right now. Jeez, hater. You of all people should have appreciated that.
You're right. I should have.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the next one. And this is also from unexplainedmysteries.com. And this is back in the archives. So this is from August 31st, 2009. And the story is police baffled over suicidal cows. I never even heard about this.
What?
Did you?
No.
Yeah. Well, let's find out about these cows. What the hell's going on? Police and locals alike are baffled in the Swiss village of Lauterbrunnen as dozens of cows are mysteriously offing themselves by throwing themselves off a nearby cliff. 28 have plunged to their death within the space of 3 days. Oof. I sense a sale coming.
Oh, my God.
In the picturesque Swiss village of Lauterbrunnen, the locals are worried and dozens of alpine cows appear to be offing themselves by throwing themselves off a cliff near the small village in the Alps. That's weird. I mean, I think animals pretty much have this hard-coded self-preservation mode. You know, it's like, no, but maybe they're seeing something. Maybe they think they can walk further. Maybe there's some kind of a optical thing that they don't really sense that there's a cliff or something, you know?
That could be. That could be, too.
Yep.
Batman says they must have been in a bad mood.
Is it any wonder I love this show? It's so funny. We are always circling the drain here on the show, and it's just hilarious.
Oh, God. Bottom of the barrel.
It's the low-hanging fruit, Sheldon. It's my favorite kind.
Yeah,
I'm not a sophisticated man, so you got to take them where you get them. All right. I don't know why they're doing that. That's weird. Very strange. Very, very strange stuff, right?
yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, let's go to the last one from Unexplained-Mysteries tonight, and then we'll get to the two other articles that I have from Rachel's suggestion of another news source. And this one's weird. It's also from the archives, but it's 2009. June 13th, I found a couple of them. I was kind of foraging through there to see if there was some I might have missed. But anyway, here we go. Unexplained-mysteries.com. June 13th, 2009, boy hit by 30,000 miles per hour meteorite.
Oh.
That's
Whoa.
That's like a bullet. That's more than a bullet. That's crazy.
That's called instant death.
Well, he apparently lived. A teenager on his way to school looked up to see a white-hot meteorite traveling towards him at 30,000 miles per hour. How do you see that? I mean, something moving 30,000 miles an hour. It's like, did he see it in like coming from space? Because that's like, boom, The object struck his hand before hitting the ground with such force that it left a 3-foot crater in the tarmac. A teenager was hit by a meteorite traveling 30,000 miles per hour and lived to tell the tale. Garrett Blank was on his way to school when he saw a massive fireball heading straight towards him from the sky. And all it did was go through his hand? How massive? This must have not been the main part, right? Or was it? I don't know. If it was a massive fireball, he saw that. Did it like rupture and then the pieces broke off and just one shard of it hit his hand? How did that work? But I hope his hand's okay. I mean, I hope he didn't like lose his hand. But man, thank God he lived. He might have superpowers now. I don't know how that works. Isn't that how that works? I don't know.
The way I'm reading it, it's like this massive fireball, and then it goes through your hand. It's like,
yeah, I know. There's a little bit of narrative missing to this. Like, how did it go from massive fireball to just, like giving him stigmata in one hand, It's like, how did that work? I don't know. I imagine the thing must have ruptured, and he saw it rupture and, pieces streaking down, and he got, plugged by one of those. But thank God it was his hand.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Wow, what a story. Okay, well, apparently he's okay. So that's one for the books for sure.
Yeah.
Well, there goes that. 2 more articles coming up. The first one is very strange. I guess this guy should probably just understand that he wasn't in a good situation, or it wasn't as happy a marriage as he thought it was. Because what is this from? Sky News. And again, thank you, Rachel. This is their weird news part. It says, here it comes. Woman who went missing more than 30 years ago and declared dead turns up alive in Puerto Rico. Patricia Copta, who is well known to be an eccentric street preacher, maybe she wasn't married. I thought it was a husband found it out or whatever, who went by the name Sparrow, was last seen in Pennsylvania in 1992. A U.S. woman was declared legally dead after disappearing for more than 3 decades ago, has turned up alive in Puerto Rico, her family and police have said. Patricia Copta, now 83, had last been seen in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1992 when investigators began looking into her disappearance. She is known to be an eccentric street preacher who went by the name Sparrow. Ross Township Deputy Police Chief Brian Colehep said on Friday. Ms. Copa, who has dementia, has been living in a nursing home after she was taken in as a person in need 7 years after she disappeared. So she was in need for a long time. It's a relief she hasn't been murdered. Her husband, she was married. Her husband, Bob Copta, said he had been married to Miss Copta for 20 years before she went missing. He said, it's a relief knowing that she's not laying in a ditch somewhere or murdered somewhere. The 86-year-old added that his family suspected she may be in Puerto Rico, but she was declared dead around 25 years ago. The retired electrician also said he had consulted a psychic about her whereabouts. Ms. Copta has 2 sisters, a twin who died 6 years ago, and a younger sister who was relieved to learn she's still alive, Mr. Copta added. He said he has experienced a range of emotions over the years, but is content knowing his wife is alive and being cared for. After 30 years of trying to forget about it, now I can forget about it. We know what happened, and she's taken care of now, he said. Ms. Copta feared that she was going to be institutionalized. So said his wife had worked as an elevator operator at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh before she vanished. Before her disappearance, U.S.-based doctors at a mental health facility had diagnosed Mrs. Copta with delusions of grandeur and said that she had signs of schizophrenia. But Ms. Copta was released from the facility and kept preaching until she disappeared, her family said. Well, there's more, but that's the gist of it. She was thought to be not here, but she's still here.
Wow.
Yep. Well, there you go. She's still...
what a story. That could be a movie right there.
Yeah, now that would be a script.
Yeah.
I don't know how you fluff that out a little bit. It sounds like, really pretty tragic because, she just disappeared and just didn't bother telling anybody like, hey, you know what? I'm out of here. She just gone. I'm walked away from family and friends and everything. So I don't know. Again, mental illness is a incredibly torturous thing, but wow, to just go. But for all of you lonely people out there trying to subsist on either no relationship or long distance relationships, technology's brought you a new hope. And this new hope is I don't know how you get to the point where this gets to be a good idea, but here it is. The solution to long distance relationships, a virtual kissing machine. There you go. It's like just like having your own resuscitation Annie at home. Are you in a long distance relationship and missing your partner? This Chinese device now lets people share a kiss through 3D technology. Maybe they even 3D scan the lips of your loved one, and so it becomes more real. I don't know. Let's watch the video, though, because
Sure.
God knows there's no words for this.
No.
There it comes.
The economy is global.
Oh,
but
yeah,
its
let's have an
effects
ad.
Are personal. The
Let's take out the sound.
Oh, nice.
All right. Let's go back to the camera until the ad's over. You can look at my smiling mug and Sheldon as well while we wait for the ad to get over. But I don't know, Sheldon, would you ever get a kissing machine?
No. No. I can't connect with a piece of plastic. Sorry.
God, I got to keep this a family show. Never mind.
I'm saying that innocently, just so you know.
Here you go. Here it is in action, folks. Whoops, what happened? I want to keep playing, but I want to hear it. Oh, there they are. They're kissing. That was it. I went through a big commercial for that. Look at that. One more time. There you go, Sheldon. Look at that. Look at the lips at the first part.
Even the actresses can't stop but laugh after they do it, just so you know.
Does it feel like a real kiss?
It's just pulsating lips. It's no. They're just pulsate. That's all they do. Just that's a kiss, really? Okay.
I think they've had those at Adam and Eve for a long time. I don't even know. That's just crazy. Well, it's technology bringing the world closer, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to miss your loved one who's separated by vast distances. You can kiss a piece of plastic to close that gap. I don't know what to do with that, but yeah, there you go, folks. The beauty of technology and how it brings us together.
Our world is advancing in so many ways. I'm so glad.
All right, well, let's get back to the rest of the show, folks. This has been a presentation of the Paranormal Portal News. Hopefully you feel informed. You're welcome. I tell you what, that's some time you're never going to get back.
So guys don't need a piece of plastic. All you need is some imagination. There you go.
It's just like, you might as well just do this and go, the whole mouth thing. Never mind.
I'm waiting to catch up.
Oh,
Hold
okay.
up. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's honestly better. I would actually rather do that. I would. I really would.
I don't know. Well, there you go. I don't know. You can't write this stuff. It's just the truth is stranger than fiction, huh?
I hate how you can't just write this stuff and it actually is reality.
I know. This is like, that's the truth. That's the weird part. It's like somebody went, I just wish I could kiss her. So I'm going to make these pulsating lips instead. How about you just get on a plane and go visit? Maybe that's a better angle.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that those pulsating lips aren't cheap. I don't know. What's the price of happiness, though, right, folks?
True.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. That has been the news, and we have a lot more going on. It's pretty quiet on the Ghost Radar tonight, which is good. That's fine. Just means that I'm not getting visited by any spookies or anyone else. Except for all of you, and that's all that matters. So,
well, we're not talking about ghostly stuff yet, so maybe
it's
there's
true.
always hope.
Maybe, yeah. Well, just in here is what you're saying, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's great when it's happening here. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha, Sheldon. Okay, I see here. I see what's going on here. All right, so next up, we're going to go to a segment that we've been doing for a while now, because, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Discord server. If you didn't know that, you can go to Discord by following the link that Sheldon is now putting into the chat, and you can become part of the Paranormal Portal Discord. Love to have you over there. There's a great group of people already there, People are doing amazing with contributing to the different chat threads that are in there, having to do with all the different paranormal aspects, whether it's Bigfoot, Dogman, ghost, UFO, extraterrestrial encounters, cryptids, or strange phenomena. And there's even a music thread. So there's always options, and you can come and be a part of all those conversations. But we're getting new people all the time. So thank you to everybody that's joined up and become part of it. And we'd love to have you come and make it even better experience with your presence. So, all right. So this is the Discord questions of the week. I should also note that this server exists because Sheldon put it together. Nice job, Sheldon. Sheldon, you're muted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad it's turning into what it's turning into. More people joining, more people interacting. It's great to see it grow and the community engage with it. I'm very glad. Thank you, everyone who's joined. Thank you for everyone who's engaged. And thank you, everyone, for even helping us with engage with these topics with new ideas. That's really important to us. And I appreciate all of you guys for doing that.
Well, I tell you what, tonight's question was actually a suggestion from our very own Chucky Danger. And Chucky asked a question, and I posted it yesterday, I guess. And we got some great responses. So, Sheldon, are you ready to bring us home?
I'm ready. So, for tonight's question on the Friday night show from Chucky Danger, here we go. In many cases, holy symbols, talismans, or rituals are used to either attract or dispel spirits. Why or why not are these effective? Thank you very much, Chucky, again for the question. First responders, Berticuda, saying, I mean, the Holy Cross is the only effective as the faith behind it. So the more you believe, the better it works.
Good point.
100% agree with that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Next responder, Artemis RF. Spirits get energy from fear. As a symbol of your faith, reading religious text, the blanket over your head, a nightlight, or even the stuffed animal you slept with as a kid all serve the same purpose. They remove fear. It is your belief that is the item will protect you that calms your fears and in turn deprives the spirit of its energy source. I think that if you believe it'll work, then it will work. Again, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's, both these points are really hitting it on the head for me personally, but I'm excited to see what everyone else said.
Next responder, ZX81V2, saying, because you need the faith to empower the symbols. Why they don't work for other ones who don't have faith in the symbol? Yeah. Mind is a strange thing. Again, hitting on that faith topic. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Storm00 saying, I believe it is the power belief in an object to hold power, not necessarily the object itself. The more people believe in any item like the cross, the power these items hold. Now, that said, I do think some items may have good or bad energy in them without people even knowing or believing that these items are helping or hurting them. Like very old wood that was a part of something in the past. And that's, I believe that is also true. I agree with that.
Yep. I agree
next
too.
Responder. Oh, go ahead.
No, I agree too. I just saw this.
Next responder, Kate Love, saying, great question of the week, Chucky, and wonderful comments by everyone. I often think of Ed and Lorraine Warren and how they collected these evil cursed items. They locked them up to contain the evil, like genie in a bottle. My thought is they didn't have the power to fully eradicate this evil. Therefore, locking it up in a dark place would be the only way to keep it out of mischief. That's actually very interesting. I'm not sure if I'm aware of that. Are you?
Yeah. Ed and Lorraine Warren were really popular and really doing a lot in the 60s and 70s, and they had their own museum in the bottom of their house that contained a lot of the cursed items that they came into possession of throughout their investigations to help people.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Including
actually.
the Annabelle,
Nice.
the real Annabelle doll, is in the
Really?
Warren Museum. Yeah. Yep.
Thank you, Eliza, for the 8 months. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Eliza.
Cold cobbers, she says. So, sorry. Next response is Chucky Danger himself, saying there are many factors to take into consideration. Material used carries a frequency. Shape of the object can change the shape of the frequency, kind of like tuning an instrument. Color also emits its own light frequency. We are spiritual beings who have forgotten what we are. I believe in energy following intentions. When we put our intention energy into symbols, talismans, and rituals, we give these things the energy to emit the intended frequency. We have so many tales of certain items like silver bullets killing werewolves, or a wooden stake made from a specific type of wood killing vampires. Is that just finding the right frequency to counteract an opposing frequency?
Good point.
That is a very good point. Without the belief that the object will work as intended, perhaps we aren't having it emit the proper frequencies. Last live show, Maggie mentioned seeing a Ouija board t-shirt for sale, and it's really got me wondering if that would work the same way as a regular Ouija board. Or the Bible, there are very specific instructions on using specific materials to make things like Noah's Ark, the Ark of the Covenant, and the surrounding housing, and even rules about not mixing textiles in clothing. I always wondered about why that was. Modern science has determined that wool emits a certain frequency and cotton emits another.
Oh.
When combined together, they almost cancel out the frequency. The ancient humans were definitely more aware of these things as we are today. Nikola Tesla was aware of this, or at least on the right track into understanding the phenomena.
Wow.
That is so interesting.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level of it, and that's really, really powerful. You're right. I would say that color is a reflection of a certain spectrum of the light. Like color without light is nothing. Like if you had a green wall, but it was in pitch blackness, it wouldn't be a green wall until you sent a light at it. Then it would reflect the green spectrum at you. So it does work as an amplifier, I guess, but of only specific spectrums. But that's still very powerful. Yeah, very good points. I liked what he said about shaping, and that some things could be the shape, could be counteracting frequency or vibration or whatever you want to call it, or energies. And that's some pretty incredible thinking. Thank you. All of these are just incredible. So keep going.
That's actually something I never really fully considered as far as the frequency part of it. Like, I know you've talked about it, but I never thought of maybe that's why these things worked in the past, if assuming they're all true and whatnot. That's interesting.
The interesting thing is that I never knew about the cotton and wool thing. I'd never heard that before, but it makes me wonder, well, what is our modern textiles with rayon and polyester and blends? What is that doing? That must just destroy those natural frequencies then, because they're blended with these polymers, basically these plastics or acrylics.
Yeah.
And that probably doesn't work out well for the holistic, if we're talking about frequency and vibration of items, then I'm sure those must be a mess, right?
Oh my God. I mean, when you think about it, as far as assuming that is actually correct, that is legitimate, I do believe there's something to it anyway, but just saying as far as argument goes, imagine how much effect we are having by making different materials without even realizing the effects of it.
Right.
Who knows? Wow. That is crazy.
Yeah, it is. Okay. And we still
All right.
Got another
next
Yeah,
next responder, Rachel 101 says, I think symbols, talismans, and rituals do work. It could be because of intent, which is very powerful based on the individual beliefs, which can create a psychic barrier of protection. One possibility that I'm only speculating upon is the power of the word. A word can become a symbol or a talisman or ritual. This is very ancient among civilizations, and who is to say that there aren't unbreakable laws that govern the spirit realm? The physical objects, talismans, for example, might have inherent properties that have been used since humans first discovered that the world of spirit existed.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
If you think of manifestation,
Yeah.
one of the first ways to manifest anything is to create a sound of it, and that is words. So that releases that intention. That intention then becomes from this energetic plane into the physical, So that's why words are powerful, and words hurt, and
That makes sense.
It's not just that, you can say, you're an idiot like that, or you can say, God, you're an idiot. And those are two very different ways of saying something, but the energy I gave it became two different things completely. It became fun, and it was fun and joking in the first one, but it was disparaging and hurtful in the other one. And it was only with the inflection of the sound that I gave it. They're identical words. So that is an energy that you're projecting into these things. And that's why, I think like in the Bible, let no unclean words pass your mouth. I think a lot of people interpret that as, well, don't cuss. Well, no, I think it means more about just don't project that ugliness into the world, because it does have an energy. It has a reality in it, and it has an effect on the world around. So I think that that's what unclean words are, not necessarily profanity or, whatever. So very, very cool stuff. But yeah.
It's like you and Rachel said, it's the power of the word.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it pushes that energy into reality in a more intense way.
And that's a great correlation to faith too. So like if an atheist was to cite words from the Bible, it would mean basically nothing. And it probably would have no effect on any kind of spiritual presences or whatever. But if a true believer did the same thing, those words become powerful. They resonate with the energy of the divine, and they become meaningful and forceful. And so, that's why when I suggest, the only offer that I give people to help them with things like cleansing and stuff is do whatever resonates with you, because that's when it becomes powerful. Not because, there are certain things and symbols that have an energy of their own, as was suggested by Chucky. And I agree wholeheartedly, but those things are amplified, or you amplify them with your belief in them. And that's what makes things powerful. So, yeah.
100%. Just here and there, 66 saying belief, and many people believing that symbols, items, or artifacts have power can make them truly powerful. And that's the thing, too. It's not just the individual belief, but like the masses believing in these symbols.
Right. Too. There's a technique used in a lot of churches it's basically, it's called prayer by rote. And it's the idea that people as a congregation say these prayers together, not because they need the practice, but because the idea is that the more will's projecting this onto the ears of the divine, the more those words will carry with importance and urgency and can speed. And it's why prayer requests, I think, are so powerful. When people are even on social media, like, hey guys, I need prayer. Send your prayer, because the more people that pray towards something, the more powerful it becomes. And I'm not trying to make this a religious, Bible study kind of thing, but it's true of any faith. The more people that are pushing an intention, which is basically a prayer, then the more that the universe will respond to it, or God will respond to it, however you want to identify what that is. So yeah, that's very, very true. Many voices are definitely more powerful than one. Yep.
Yeah, because it's all that energy being focused onto this one thing. Even if it's for a brief second, it's still that brief second of sending that intention out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Next responder, Jody Private. It's either I or one paranormal. Says this question intrigues me.
It's Jody Private Eye Paranormal. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry.
This question intrigues me, mostly because I'm not sure of my answer. Over the last 4 years, I've had my spiritual beliefs tested in a good way. My core spiritual beliefs haven't faltered, but I've broadened my thinking on many topics and see things a lot differently than I did before. I guess I'd have to say my thoughts on this are still being shaped, but I do believe they can be effective. I also believe you gave these things their power versus them having power. What I question is, are the effects positive or negative depending on the situation or intention? I mean, that's true too. You can have symbols that have negative power to them, I'm sure. Right? I mean, as far as like even cursed objects and whatnot, it's the same kind of thing, right? Isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rituals that speak of imbuing things with negative effects for those that come in contact with it. And that's, we commonly call that a curse, but it's just energy follows intention, as Chucky said. And it's something I heard my whole life growing up. Energy follows intention. So, you have to keep that in mind. That if you intend for someone to have bad things happen to them, or you give them something, with all your hate and anger in it, then it's probably not going to be a good thing for that person. We can, I think, speak things into power. I think that's part of manifestation. But yeah, that's a great point. And nobody can know for sure, but I think that, the key takeaway from this, and I think the cool part is that everybody was on the same page. Look, it's faith. It has to do with faith. We believe things become powerful. There's maybe a reason that some people can enter an extraordinarily haunted location and have crazy wild things happen, and some people can that can also enter that don't have anything happen. And the only difference is, do they believe in the idea of spirits and ghosts? Skeptics don't have experiences largely, I think, because they block that energy. They may block it on some level, whether consciously or subconsciously, and so they're not able to have that experience. But I'm not saying that hauntings are good experiences, so sometimes being a skeptic would be preferable if you're dealing with something horrible and negative. But my point is that one thing about all of this stuff, whether it's symbols and sigils and talismans and or it's hauntings, haunted objects, haunted dolls, or haunted areas, all of it, there is one common denominator to all of the experiences that we talk to on this show. And I've spoken this before on the show, so excuse me if it's redundant, but we are the common denominator. People having the experiences are the one common denominator through it all. So we are a part of the experience, whether directly or indirectly, or, there's a synergy perhaps between us and the energy there, and that's what creates the experiences or whatever. And I can't pretend to know for sure, but I was having a long talk with Jack Carey before we recorded, talking about the hitchhiker effect, and he and I were talking about it. I'm like, Jack, it was a brilliant conversation. I wish I'd been recording it, because we were just going off of each other and just building on this idea. And it was so powerful. But it basically, my point is that we are either victims of this or we are co-manifestors of it. And mostly indirectly and subconsciously. But there is something to do with I'm sorry, I'm clicking this little Bigfoot key ring. So if you're hearing that clicking, that's me dorking around with my hands.
All right, good to know.
But I think that we remove ourselves and we treat a lot of this as if we are victims. We're being victimized. Something is preying upon us, and sometimes it is. But I still think that we are a part of the equation, even in negative experiences, and that's why we can empower ourselves to stop them. Because there's some form of acquiescence or whatever. Oh, thank you, Chucky. I appreciate that, brother. But there's some part of us that is in synergy with this whole phenomena, whether it's Bigfoot, whether it's Dogman, whether it's, whatever. And so, it may be that synergy that draws these cryptids in to see, who is this? What's this weird feeling I got? So maybe that's why they come in for some people and check out what they're doing, and why they ignore other people, because they're not in that same synergy. I don't know. I'm assuming a lot when I say that, but we can either look at this stuff as us being somewhat how do I say this? Co-manifesting it, or we can be victims. And I like the idea that we're somehow really an integral part of it, us being there, us being who we are, and having these experiences that if we can understand that, then we become empowered and we can't be victimized by it. You know, I mean, nothing breaks my heart more than hearing that people are trapped in a house that seems to hate them, or creatures or beings are there that seem to want to just, you know, harm people. That really affects me on a deep level, because it's not fair, right? And so if we are indeed part of it and can learn that we are actually have a big part of being in control of this experience, but we don't understand it, whether it's lack of spiritual knowledge or lack of metaphysical knowledge or whatever, or religious knowledge, then we can take control. And maybe that's why people like exorcists can be so effective, is because they know that they can speak to power and stop things from happening because of their connection to the divine, you know. And this is not just exclusive to Catholics. I'm talking about shamans, you know, medicine people, mediums and such that can walk in and exorcise a place. Exorcism is just a term. It's not necessarily has to be a religious reference. So, you know, go ahead.
Just so we don't get too far off the topic, I think building upon what you, as well as John Temperine, is saying in chat, he said, I think people curse themselves by thinking too much. And that's far as like negative intention. You know, there are people in my past, for an example, who were the kind of people where, you know, just random bad situations happen to, just random, maybe just clumsy stuff. Maybe it's like, they'll always say like, man, I just have the worst luck. God, I just have bad luck. It's like, but you're perpetuating it right there.
Yeah.
By even saying that out loud with intention.
Sure.
You are saying it as if you believe it. And so therefore, yes, it's going to perpetuate it. And it did.
Yeah. Well, in the words of Jesus, it's done unto you as you believe, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I think many people take that to mean, well, how good is your faith in the Christian doctrine? But I think I don't think it's necessarily so one-dimensional. I think what he said is very true across the board. Whatever you believe you're going to have a bad day, you'll have a bad day. If you believe it'll be a good day, maybe it will, or maybe it'll be better than it would have been, just because that's what you're manifesting. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. So that is the question of the week, and that's why I love this topic. Special thanks to Chucky again for the question. I really appreciate when you guys suggest questions. There won't be a question of the week for tomorrow. And again, Deb is going to be joining us to do psychic readings on the show. And that'll be at 7 p.m. right here on YouTube. So you can tune in and be part of it and get a reading if you're so inclined. Everybody and anybody's welcome. You know, just be wonderful. Thank you for all of you that are agreeing with what I'm saying. I mean, again, I don't mean to be preachy ever, but I think about this stuff all the time. You know, I really do. I mean, this is, I'm really not a very interesting guy for the most part, because I'm always researching this stuff and reading about it and thinking about it and pondering this stuff. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's interesting too in our little bubble here, but I think in the dynamic wide world, many people look at me and be like, oh man, that guy's he's a little one track, but I think it's important, you know, I do. So anyway, I appreciate your contributions, everybody that took part in this. Thank you so much. And again, Sheldon, will you post that link again?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is the question of the week. If you do join Discord and you're not really sure what you're doing, up here on the top of our Discord channel is a Discord tutorials. And there's a bunch of videos posted here that'll kind of walk you through how to use Discord if you're not familiar with it. So please take a look at that. And once you get the idea of what to do here, basically you join the Discord, you end up in this thing called the general chat, and you can type and do whatever you want, say whatever, you know, well, as long as it's reasonable. Again, keep it family friendly. But any of these other threads over here are also available. If you want to check out what's been posted about Dogman, click on Dogman. There's a little scroll bar on the right here. You can scroll up and see all of the different articles and links people have posted about the Dogman phenomena. You can look at ghosts, UFO, and when they're white like this, it means there's new posts that I haven't read. So that's what that means. So I know there's things here I haven't seen yet, but I'll have to look at Bigfoot, Dogman, Ghost, UFO, extraterrestrial encounters, cryptids, and strange phenomena. There's also voice channels. If any of you guys want to just chat, like hang out and chat with each other, feel free. I mean, they're wide open, aren't they, Sheldon? Like anybody could use these?
And anyone should be able to join them. That should not be locked.
Okay, so these are accessible to any of you guys that want to try it out. If you got headphones or a microphone, you can try out the voice chat, see how it works, and hang out with each other if you want. But I've never seen those used yet, but that's okay. I mean, most people are not only a member of one Discord, they're hopping between them, so whatever. But again, thank you to everybody that's here and taking part in this. It's been awesome, and it's been a lot of fun. So this has been the Discord Questions of the Week.
Yes.
Boom. All right, now we're going to go to a segment I haven't done for a long time. But before we go to that, I just want to do this. I want to put this up on the screen so you guys can see it, because coming up this June, ladies and gentlemen, in Spokane Valley, Washington, there is a roundup happening. A Sasquatch roundup, as it happens. Spokane Valley Sasquatch roundup is happening in, went the wrong way there. I should bring it down a little bit so it actually is visible. So this is the Spokane Valley Sasquatch roundup. This is in Spokane Valley, Washington State. And scheduled special guest speakers, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Cliff Barrickman, Ken Gerhard, Michael Freeman, who's son of Paul Freeman, who is the man who recorded the Freeman footage. He will be there. Michael Thompson, who's from Alaska, he's an author, written some books about Bigfoot and such. And then Charles Howard Johnson, who's a dear friend of mine. I've done some paranormal investigating with Charles, and he's a great guy and just a wonderful soul. And this will be on Saturday, June 17th, 2023. So if you're in the area, Saturday, June 17th, 2023, it is from 9 a.m. through 5:30 p.m. And there's a VIP dinner where you can have dinner with all of these fine folks, including myself, if you happen to be there, because I'm going to be emceeing this thing. And this will be, the VIP dinner is 6:30 to 8:30. So it's 2 hours after the event at the same location. So we'd love to see you there. If you're looking for more information, I might have to zoom in a little bit here to bring it up on screen. But go to www.exnorthwest.com. Now, I'll tell you that there is a fixed number of seats available for this. And honestly, this isn't just a promotional tactic. They are selling out. And so there's not going to be much room. I don't know how many hundreds of seats there are exactly, but I know I talked to Stephen Major of Extreme Expedition Northwest LLC, who is promoting and sponsoring this event and putting it on. And he said, man, we're probably going to be selling out real quick. So just if you're in the area, you can be in the area, head over. I'd love to meet you guys if you come in. So make sure you say hello. Don should be there with me. This is right at Spokane Valley, which is not too far from where I am right now. So, again, June 17th, 2023. So hopefully you'll, make it over there and hang out with us. So hopefully it'll be a good time. So I wanted to put that out there.
I might be there.
You might even be there. Who knows? My God, anything is possible. That'd be cool if you could make it too, Sheldon.
I hope so. Actually, I really do.
That would be really fun. So we'll see what we can put together between now and then for you, but I might need to sell more T-shirts, but but maybe we can make it happen. But yeah, I mean, this is something we're looking forward to, and it'll be great. So Saturday, June 17th, mark your calendars. And again, www.exnorthwest.com. All right, so that part is done. And now, the segment.
Hey, before we go on, do you need a break by any chance?
Do I? Not really. No. Are you good or?
My bladder's gonna blow.
Okay. Well, put yourself off screen. I'll go to this screen, and go blow your bladder.
All right. Sounds good. Be right back.
Okay. Mute your mic. I don't want to hear the porcelain thing. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So come on over. Got coffee and muffins. Portal Mom's inviting everybody over too. So we're going to go to a segment I haven't done for a long time, but this is one that we used to do on the daily shows when I did basically 7 shows a week. I did these quite often, or 5 shows a week. I think I did these, but see if you remember it for those of you that have been around for a while. Here we go. Ooh, trail cam terrors, folks. All right, it's time for trail cam terrors here on the Paranormal Portal, and I'll tell you what. Again, this is a brand new image that was just captured literally days ago. I'll give you a little bit of background. So, essentially, this comes from my cousin Paul in Tennessee, and he has a series of trail cams posted around his property. Mostly just to watch the wildlife and, also for a little home security, if somebody's crawling onto his property or something. So he has them up, and they're the kind that have the ability to like phone you the images if it captures anything. And so he has sent me several of them that I've already featured on the show, and I'm going to try to pull up some of them now. Strange ones that a lot of orb stuff has been happening, but I'm looking for some specific ones here, and I'm gonna try to find them. Hold on. Is this it? I don't know. I gotta blow this up. Hold on, and I gotta go through this a little bit because there's things on here that are kind of strange. This is some anomalous black thing that was happening in 2022 on this one. It was here, then it's here, then it's here. Could be a bird. I don't know. Could be something else entirely. Not quite sure. But it's a strange capture. The way it's positioned is really strange and odd. But is it something? Maybe. Then there's some really, really fascinating ones that were captured. And I'm trying to find those. Oh, that's the newest ones. Don't look yet. Don't look. Nope, not there. I'm so rookie. I'm so out of practice with this. What was this one? Oh, yeah. Here was this other one that he sent me, which looks like this one happened on the 8th month. What's that? August 5th, 2021. And this is very strange. He's got really high quality cameras, but for some reason, this looks like some kind of spectral dog or wolf or something. Now, he's captured other images of wildlife in the night, even including deer running by, and none of them are this kind of ethereal or almost see-through. We're not quite sure what this is. It's just very bizarre. Now, he does live in the Smoky Mountains, which are pretty well known for a lot of weird stuff happening, even by the Native American First Nation tribes of the area. Always regarded the Smoky Mountains as magical and what have you. So this is where his home is situated, but it's a very strange image. And it is extraordinarily blurry. Now it is, I'm pixelating as I'm going way in here, but you can see when you back out, this is at 9:14 p.m. and it's already dark, but no idea what this is. He's like, there is a devil dog legend in his area, and he did say that some people have claimed to see it with red glowing eyes, and then he captured this strange image. So I've shown this on the show before, and that's really fantastic. And he's got some incredible orb pictures as well. These are some strange orbs for some reason. Could they be a spider web? Maybe, because there is a line that does seem to have almost a pendulum effect here where it's maybe fixed and it's waving in front of the camera. Possibly. I can't say conclusively, but I can tell you that this man does not have the technical know-how to fake these things. I can tell you he can use a computer about well enough to online shop and to do email, and that's about it. And his wife is the same. So in this case, I hope I'm on the right camera here. Yeah, I am. This is an orb that just kind of appeared. The next image, that's the same image. Sorry. There it is. It's moved. But this was in July. Now, Could it be something close to the frame reflecting the IR? Maybe, but it also could be an orb because there's been reports of orbs in these woods for centuries. So is this an orb? Possibly. There is motion to it, so there's validation for that. Now we go to the newest pictures. These were literally just taken, ladies and gentlemen. So these are brand new, and you'll see the dates on the images when I pull them up. Let's see which one should go first. I'm looking. I can't quite see it. No, this is not the right one. I got to go back here. Yeah, here we go. I want to do this one first. So this one is first. Here is the normal night vision picture from, this is from the 3rd of March, 2023 at 6:53 a.m. Sorry. And he doesn't know what triggered it, but something triggered it. Now, the day before, look at the time, 6:53 a.m. Something triggered this, it went off. Let me go down to this one. This is from the day before at 1:19 p.m. Something triggered it. You don't know. Could it be a bird flying past? Sure. Could there be a very normal explanation for this being captured? Sure. I wanted to include these images because it gives you a good idea of the quality of these cameras. These are not cheap, real bad resolution images. These are really pretty crisp and concise images for trail cams. They generally are these are the higher end models, not the bargain basement ones or 15-year-old ones. So these two came in, but then where the hell is it? I guess I'll go to this one. Oh, maybe I had to do this. Here we go. Here's the image he captured before. Now, what I want to point out to you is this weird anomaly here. Now, it could look like a raindrop on the lens, but there's no, he said there was some wind going on, but nothing abnormal. And there was never any other raindrops or debris on the lenses ever before. So this weird anomaly here, but this is the anomaly in question. And that is, to me, clearly appears to be a humanoid shape, but also almost, I don't know. It looks like it's hunched forward. There's a head here. I don't know if these lighter parts could be eyes that are looking towards the camera, or if this is some form of the apparition, if it is indeed an apparition. Now, I do want to point out that this is a reflective surface here. So is that creating a lens flare? Well, if we go back to the other image, that same image, that same reflector is here, but it's not creating any anomalies whatsoever. No lens flares, nothing. There's nothing else appearing here. There's no outside lights down here. This is essentially very, very dark. So what is going on here? I don't know. Let's go back to this one again. But this is the strange thing here. Could this be something having emerged from what, and this is speculation, wild speculation on my part. Could this be a portal? Could this be a remnants of a portal it just came through? Is it aware of the camera looking over like this dot and this dot? They are lighter, as if, and if you zoom way in, there's still a translucency to it. And you can see a bit through the edge of it, but it does have enough of a presence that it is blocking out most of what you can see of the cat behind it. What do you think? I don't know.
Do you think it? Some saying dust devil. Is it possibility?
Well, it would be there's no dust. This is gravel here, and this is a different kind of gravel here. So it's not like this is just dirt. I mean, and the other thing is this has been wet because it's the spring. I mean, it's not like this is dry. This is not a real dry area. This is in the forest. So in the Smoky Mountains, which is very, they get that morning mist and dew and all of that stuff. And so I don't know. It just wouldn't seem to be dry enough to me. And that's having been there myself a couple of times, it's not a real dry place. It's a very moist, like, not, I wouldn't say wet, but it wouldn't seem to me to be dry enough to kick up this. This has been all muddy. When I was just there a month ago, this was literally mud. And so I don't think it's dried up enough to be dust. And they have had precipitation, so I think that's highly unlikely. But now what the last thing I wanted to point out about this, look at this. And this is the part that I went, whoa. Look at 6:54 a.m. on March 2nd, 2023. Almost exactly 24 hours later, that other cat picture that's cut off here, 6:53 a.m. the very next morning, at the same time, almost exactly by 24 hours, this was triggered again to create this image with nothing visible. So somebody said pollen clouds? No, there's not pollen clouds, I don't think. It had been raining earlier. It was still windy, but I don't think it's anything like that. They were supposed to get a huge storm. There was a warning on the night of the 2nd that they were going to get a huge storm. Everybody's getting all nervous because it was supposed to be this incredible storm that came through. And he said, well, it never really happened. They had some wind, but little sprinkles, but it was largely a non-event. So the other thing is he's had these cameras out there for years and has never captured an image like this. They're like this. They're like this up here, not like creepy ghost guy walking up your driveway. You know, that's a whole new thing. Now, again, the thing I really like about this, a lot of times when I did this segment before, I couldn't tell you anything about the background other than what was reported. This, I know the person, I know the source, I know his technical ability, I know the area, I've been there myself, and it's incredibly anomalous to me, having had a chance to be there. And I also know the person not only for his technical ability, but his honesty. This is my cousin Paul, who recorded an episode when he lived in Michigan, the Haunting in Michigan podcast episode. It was the same person. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sold that looks like an actual apparition walking up his driveway. What this is, I don't know, but the only thing I could think is, my God, that could that be some kind of capture of what a portal might look like? And I don't know. I'm not suggesting it is or isn't. I just don't know. It seems to be some weird energetic cloud or something. I don't know. I just, and again, all I can do is wildly speculate. Nobody saw this, but he did get the image in real time on his phone. He's like, whoa. And so all I can tell you is you be the judge. But to me, this is an incredible capture and will very well be one of the holy grails of every paranormal researcher out there, which is to catch an apparition on film. And so he did it inadvertently. So, and the fact that 24 hours difference, there's almost to the minute, there's two captures, one which displays this and the other which just displays the cat with no obstruction, no anomaly visible, I think is incredibly interesting. So you be the judge, but I think it's pretty crazy. Now,
I think it's an amazing capture.
I do too. I just think that the odds of this being just, because it really does look like a person kind of hunched over. Now, this full disclosure, somebody did take themselves out on this property prior to them living there. So could that be this person? I don't know. It's anybody's guess, but just throwing it out there. But special thanks to my cousin Paul. Appreciate you sending those in when they come. I just think they're fascinating and intriguing as hell because, this is evidence. And so I was really excited to share it with you. And you be the judge, whether it is or isn't. Or if you have another explanation, you might be right. But this has been Trail Cam Terrors. I liked it, Sheldon. I think that's a great capture.
I loved it. I mean, look at the timing too. I mean, it's exactly 24 hours, nearly exactly 24 hours later.
Yeah.
Plus, with the added, although tragic, the added history of there being a passing on that same property. So
Yeah, an intentional one, you know.
yeah,
Who knows what was going on for that person, and who knows what the history of the land is. I mean, my cousin and his wife, you know, came from up north, so they just found this property and fell in love with it and bought it, and have been working on it and you know, making it into their home. But it, you know, these lands are old. This is in the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee, so there's all kinds of incredible reports coming out of the Smokies. I don't know if Jason is here, Jason Trust, but I think this is getting towards his neck of the woods. I don't know. I think he's somewhere near there, but maybe not in Tennessee. I don't remember. But I'm sure he's heard plenty of reports from the Smokies, as have many of you guys. But yeah, it's just really cool. So,
Wonder Woman's saying that maybe he passed on himself out at 6:53. Like maybe that was the time.
That's a good point. I never considered that. Or is that the date range that he did it? You know.
Okay, Rachel is seeing exactly what I'm seeing. Rachel says, if you look long enough, it seems like a figure in a jacket with an old cap, hunched over like a working man or a farmer. And I see the exact same thing, Rachel. Yeah. Good observation.
Yeah, I like that version rather than a ghoul or something.
Yeah, I like
the old man in the cap better than the creepy creature coming up. That's kind of in this world and kind of not.
Yeah.
No, I think that's maybe very true. I don't know, but you know, it does appear to me to be kind of looking at the camera, but you know, it isn't that something, like it knows it's there, and that's what it wanted to show you. It's like, yeah, I'm here. You should know, I'm here with you. So, I
would imagine if you were stuck in some plane, possibly, or unless it's leftover energy type of thing, but if you're stuck in a plane, I'd want to be noticed too. Like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah. Well, you know, exactly. I've been saying that for years. It's like, how maddening would that be to exist somewhere and you're never acknowledged? Now, there is activity around the house as well. You know, there's other activity that's happened ongoing, but having been there and stayed there, you know, for a couple of weeks at different times, it's a very peaceful place. It's not like the place is like, ooh, this place is spooky. It feels like a home. Like it's seen a lot of love, it's seen a lot of good, but you know, whatever happened for that person to decide that, I don't know. But I didn't feel anything negative or dark while I was there. I never felt uncomfortable. It just felt like a home, you know, like a good home. So maybe this person just loved that home. Maybe that person was had gotten sick and didn't want to go the long, painful route. You know, it's hard to say. So. And maybe that was his home, so it's still his home. You know, it's hard to say. But at any rate, I just am really pleased to share that with you guys, because it's not often that I can bring you guys new stuff that nobody else has ever seen before. You guys are literally seeing that anywhere for the first time. It's just only been shared from my cousin who owns the trail cameras to you. So you guys are getting the exclusive here on the Paranormal Portal. Just saying, but I think it's literally one of the best trail cam pictures I've ever seen depicting what could be a ghost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For me, you know, hands down. I've seen some pretty interesting ones, but it's hard to say, you know, and again, this isn't absolutely conclusive, but it is to me, just knowing the background, knowing the area, knowing the site and location, and having been there. I'm pretty convinced, but you know, what do you do? Mm-hmm.
Well, this is distinct. You know, this is a lot more distinct. Like with some pictures, you know, you're looking down, I don't know, just an example. You're looking down this hallway and there's like, you know, it's so dark that it just looks like black at the end of it. And they're like, oh, there's a face in there. And it's like, well, you might be looking for faces. It might be there, but you might be looking for faces in the blackness, you know?
Yeah. Yep. Could you post those to the Discord?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Well, I can ask him if he's okay with that. We'll see if he's okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess I kind of own them in a sense, but they are his images, so I want to respect his wishes. But I'll ask him. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no problem with that. I'm sure he'll be fine with it. But I just want to have the chance to ask him. So, very cool. How we doing? 35? Oh my God, really?
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
How does the time fly here on the portal, folks?
Every time.
Sheesh. Every time.
Every
Yeah.
time. Every time.
You just never can get used to it. It's like, wow, you blink and it's been 2 hours. Tell your cousin, thank you for sharing it. Well, I think he's watching, actually, Brenda. He was going to tune in tonight while I shared it on the show and just see what everybody thought. He's not the type that would be typing along with you guys saying hi, but he's out there. So you can say
hey,
hi.
Paul.
Yeah. You can say hi to him. He probably will see it. Yep. But yeah, I just think it's a fantastic capture. So, let's see, 8:36. All right, we're going to go right to the cryptid corner and get into some Sasquatch Chronicle stories from our wonderful friend and mentor, Mr. Wes Germer.
Mr. Wish.
Mr. Wes Germer, of course. All right, let's get into it. All right, different camera. I need this one. There we go. Going to go to Sasquatch Chronicles blog, ladies and gentlemen, and please check it out. I know you guys love Sasquatch Chronicles. Everybody loves Sasquatch Chronicles, but the blog is actually a fantastic location as well. So please stop over there and visit and see all the other stuff that Wes posts every day. I mean, it's truly one of the most current blogs out there. He just is very, very regimented and keeps putting things up every day unless, well, I mean, he's human, of course. There's days maybe he's not feeling well or whatever, but yeah, he's very diligent about it, and there's always great stuff posted there. So check it out. Oh no, he's still around. Wes is just still around. All right, so let's get to the first one, and this is from Sasquatch Chronicles blog, March 8th. I heard them running through the tobacco field. A listener writes, so I'm not exactly sure the order of the events I'm about to tell you about happened, but you let me know if you think this is strange or not. I never realized what one of these encounters were until I started listening to your podcast years ago. I emailed you years ago, but I never shared all of my experiences that happened at my childhood home where my mom still resides. To begin, I grew up in Marion, South Carolina, a very small town, about an hour inland from Myrtle Beach, population of about 6,000 people, and very spread out. My mom still lives there in the country. At the time, there were 2 houses to our right and one across the road from us, across from a few fields. In the country, it is the country, rather, sorry. To the left and back of our home are miles of fields. Depending on the season, it could be corn, soybeans, or tobacco. I have 2 older sisters, and we have lived in a small home with a boat shed. We always called those boat houses. But anyway, that's what we call it. A barn-type building where my dad stored his boats. Oh, so maybe it wasn't on water. Gotcha. The lawnmower and that kind of stuff. We had a large oak tree in our backyard and a huge magnolia tree in the front. My mom actually grew up on that property and eventually moved back there years after getting married and having children. We often had issues with prowlers, as my parents would call them, banging on windows, taking things from the boat shed, and people looking in our windows. Well, let me explain. I was about 10 years old and deathly afraid of the dark for a much more sinister reason, or the whole story, and my oldest sister, a whole other story, sorry. And my older sister asked my mom if I could spend the night with her in her room one night. My middle sister and I slept in bunk beds in another room, and we were joined at the hip, LOL. Very close, just like best friends. My oldest sister and I had issues, but sometimes she was nice to me, and I thought that this was cool that she was asking me to come sleep with her, being that she had always been so mean. I should have known better. Well, first of all, she sleeps with the room pitch black, dark. Oh. And the only light radiating in the room was the red light from her digital clock on the dresser. So we're in our PJs, and she tells me to get in, as the bed is pushed up to the corner of the room where you cannot walk around it. You have to get in from one side. So I climb in. My heart is already pounding because I'm already thinking to myself, what is she up to? Why is she being so nice to me? She even said, don't be afraid. I'll hold your hand until you fall asleep. Well, I thought she was going to smother me or something. Seriously, we're in bed. It's a full-size bed, and it's quite comfy. She kills the light, and I'm lying there. To my left is one of the windows with the typical plastic mini blinds. The window faces the front of the house, and I could actually see the light from the front porch shining in through the blinds, and that gave me a great comfort. Well, I began to feel better, and she said to me, "It's okay. I'm right here." I thought, well, okay. I'm not sure why she's being so cool, but whatever. It's late, and I can start to see things in the room because my eyes were adjusting to the darkness and a little bit of light coming in from the blinds. I started to drift off to sleep. Not sure how long I was asleep, but I was awakened by a tapping sound. As I'm typing this right now, I have the exact same feeling that I had that night 40 years later. I just kind of looked around with my eyes and didn't move my head. I was paralyzed with fear. I didn't know why I was so scared, as I had no idea what the sound was, and I moved my right arm, which was under the covers, over to feel if my sister was there, and she was, and was very much asleep. The sound was coming from the window and was getting harder and harder. Now I shift my eyes over to the window, not moving my head, and I see this huge dark figure taking up most of the window as it was casting the shadow on the blinds, but I was almost breathless. I felt my feet get cold instantly. Knowing now that was the fear, right? I was so scared. I thought the prowlers were trying to break in. See, the blinds were turned down, not up. So as I was laying there, I could see a little of whatever it was, and all I could make out was that it was black and had very white teeth, a huge mouth full of white teeth. And I could hear it breathing, so raspy, and kind of gurgled. I grabbed my sister's arm and I said, "There's someone at the window," in a shaky whisper. And she said, "What?" I said, "There's someone trying to get in the window." And I was trying not to move, and I was talking so low, she yelled, "What?" And I screamed, "There's someone trying to get into the window." She looked and she saw the figure too, and went screaming out of the room, yelling for my dad. I slid out of the bed, never looking back until I landed on the floor, and then I crawled out of her room so fast. Dad, there's someone trying to get in the window. Hurry, hurry." Now, my dad and mom were asleep in their room. My dad, in shock after hearing our screams, leaps from the bed and grabs his gun, a .38 revolver. And we knew this look, as he would often take that gun outside to ward off the prowlers that were constantly harassing us. In his tighty whities, he ran out the front door and went left towards where the person had been standing. My mom called our neighbor and warned them that something was happening, and they got their guns and went to meet Dad and help him. Mom swore that every time this happened, they would accidentally shoot one another. They had no business doing that, but that was Dad. He came in minutes later and said, "I heard them running through the tobacco field, but I couldn't see them. Only a dark figure breaking the stalks, but I couldn't make out details." And just like that, we're supposed to go back to bed and everything back to normal. Yeah, right. I stayed in the living room. My sister went back to bed, and so did my parents. I watched TV probably the whole night. I was so freaked out. I can see it as I'm sitting here right now. I can hear it. Do I know what it was? No. But after listening to your episodes where some people believe there were people in hoodies or black people trying to break in, it flooded me with memories. So I went back to my mom's about a year ago. After listening to some of your guest accounts, and I talked to my mom, and my dad had passed away 6 years ago, and she is still there at 84, and my nephew lives there with her, so she will not be alone. She has many memories of things happening in that house, which I will share. I went back to the window where that person would have been standing years ago, and I measured. So there were no bricks or flower beds under that window, just hedges that have always been there, and The bottom of the window, as I'm facing it, is at 5 feet. And this thing took up the whole freaking window. So I'm guessing this thing was standing at about 7.5 to 8 feet high, unless whoever it was carrying a ladder or a step stool. I stood there with my mom in total amazement. How could we have been so passive to believe that this was a person? I was like, what the hell? I told a few close friends and got the look and the smile, like, you idiot. And so I let it go. But I can't. The more I think about all this crazy stuff that happened out there, something was going on. Wow. That's pretty intense. Oh, wow.
So considering us.
Nathan Nates.
Yep.
Showing up.
50.
Thank you, brother. That means the world. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's really cool. You got the sticker, the rocket. That's a great one. All right. So that's a cool story though, right?
Well, yeah, considering that it's, I mean, as she said, it's 5 feet up.
Yeah, to the bottom of the window.
Yeah, that's the bottom.
Yeah.
The weird thing, why would it be climbing in?
I don't think it was climbing in. It was just tapping, just like harassing, I guess, or just, it almost seems like these things have a sense of humor. Like, watch this, hold my beer kind of thing. And
that's true. That's true.
Because they got to be doing it just to get a rise out of people. And they probably run away laughing like, did you see that guy in his whiteies? Tidy whiteies running out there. Maybe that's hilarious to them. I don't know. Maybe they just wanted him to run out again so they could see those weird clothes he was wearing. Who knows?
I don't know. Why risk it when you have, us humans who are scared and cautious and have all these weapons,
Because they seem curious. Like, I think they really are intrigued with what happens when we go inside these boxes. Like, what's going on in there? What do they do? Because these are maybe a nomadic species to some degree. Maybe they're, to them it seems real foreign. Like they just go into that box for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Then they come out for a while, get into a little box and roll away. And then they come back and then they go back in their box.
They probably call us the box people.
We're like the box trolls or something. I don't know. Yeah. They probably don't know what the hell to do with us. So
we're the weird ones to them.
Yeah. What is those weirdies up to now? Look at all those lights. What's going on? It looks like a rave going on inside of there. So, I just think they're curious. They seem very intrigued by what we do. And I don't know if they're learning. Like, do they just come up so they can learn and figure out more about us, or what their motivations are? Who knows? But it could just be, they're bored. Maybe these are incredibly intelligent beings that, they're out in the woods all the time with sticks and rocks and creeks and stuff. And maybe they just want to see. And I think it's mostly like not the real adult ones generally. I think it's generally some form of adolescent or young adults that are mostly intrigued, and like any teenager, you just got to stretch your wings and just see. And it's been suggested by our good friend, Mr. Jim the Bear King from the Bigfoot Outlaws, that perhaps they count coup. Like they, the young adults will count coup with each other. Like, well, you get coup if you go over and tap on that window, see what happens. Like it's a sign of bravery or a rite of passage, maybe. Who knows?
It's their test of manhood,
Yeah, maybe.
If they're nomadic,
It could be. Maybe that's one of their trials for becoming an adult, is they got to razz the people and get away safely. Who knows? We don't really, it's all speculation. We just don't know, are these things really intelligent or just kind of intelligent? What are we dealing with? But we really don't know for sure. But it seems that it's not just accidental. It's not just an accidental thing. It's like, hey, what's this box? Let's go beat on it. I think they do it with the intent of razzing the people and just seeing the reaction they get. Like, kind of like the kid that gets ignored, start throwing toys at you just to see what you'll do. It's kind of like that to me in a lot of ways. Like a toddler, they just won't be ignored. If you don't pay attention right away, they'll like throw applesauce at you or something.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Oh, that's a good point. Like, hey, notice us.
Yeah. Maybe they just like to be noticed. And it's weird because it seems so counterproductive to their behavior. They stay hidden. And maybe that's the difference between the young ones and the adult ones. The adult ones are like, quit poking those things. They get angry and they come out with these thunder sticks, Maybe that pisses off the old ones, but the young ones go out in their little groups and they do weird stuff like that just to see. Like 8 foot is huge though.
I mean, to them, I think in one way, we got to look really stupid. They do all this razzing with us. They do all this like territorial, just intimidation behavior, or just messing around with us. And we still have a whole society of people that don't believe they're out there, even though they're doing all this. They have all these mountains of stories and interactions and whatnot. To them, we must be so ignorant.
Yeah, I'm sure we must really be bizarre for them. But what do you know? I don't know for sure. I don't know.
It's good for them though. That means that, hey, we can mess with them as much as we want, and they won't even believe them. Right. That's the best joke to them.
Yeah. Here's a quick one from Sasquatch Chronicles blog. This one's a picture of a footprint. So.
Oh, okay.
All right. This is from March 8th. Large footprint, Black Rock Mountain, Georgia. A listener writes, "Hi, Wes. I wanted to share this print I came across June 2022 at Black Rock Mountain, Georgia State Park, and it was on a hiking trail on the far right side of the trail, and that's my Burt's Bees lipstick. Well, I think it's chapstick, but next to it for scale. I love your show. Maybe it is lipstick. Oh, yeah, it looks like it's lipstick. Never mind. God, that's huge. That's a big, wide foot.
I'm still waiting for you to scroll. There we go. Oh, my Lord.
So that's like a lipstick. I don't know if that's longer than normal chapstick sticks. I'm assuming so. But, I mean, you look at how wide that is. That's way wide.
Isn't that pretty consistent for big footprints, is that they're very wide, very flat, that type of thing?
Yeah. It's hard to tell exactly where the heel ends on this just because of the strata it's walking on and the needles. But I wish they would have kind of isolated where the heel is. They cleared away the needles from inside the print. But But yeah, that's still, I mean, I don't know what time of year it was. What did they say? Did they say? No, it just said it was 2022 and June 2022. So it would have been warmer. But that's still way big. Looks way big for a human print to me. It says that's deep too. Thanks for sharing.
Oh, that's way too wide for a human. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Looks a little like two prints side by side with some overlap. Yeah, who knows? I don't know where he gets that from for sure. But I don't see any mid-ridge where it would be another impression or anything. But anyway, very cool. That one's very cool too.
Wow.
Sometimes they leave these big prints. Now, is it intentional? Do they do that intentionally?
It's another question.
Yeah.
It
is. And the weird part is because the other strange thing about them that I've been pondering for a long time, and I don't pretend to have any kind of resolution to it, but it's like they can leave like one footprint and then no other ones around, even though it's very similar strata that they're walking in. Could be soft soil or whatever, but there'd be just like 1, 2, 3 footprints and then nothing on either end. Like, and what do? Maybe there's some way they can climb. Like, are they holding a big tree branch and then they just lift off with it? I don't know. It's weird, but it almost seems, because we know they can traverse the forest absolutely silently, not even crackling leaves somehow. And that's very unusual. It's hard to wrap my head around. How do you do that?
Yeah.
But, stealth is something that they have no problem with. But they can also stomp and crack sticks and break limbs as they walk around when they're trying to intimidate people. So they can either choose to be absolutely silent as they're traversing the woodlands, or they can create incredible havoc with their size and clearly bipedal pattern of footsteps. And, it's like they choose. They choose either be absolutely stealthy and silent, or they choose to be loud and obnoxious because they are trying to elicit a response from the people that are there. So What's going on?
It's so crazy. It seems so counter to their nature. You know, when we think, and even in cinema, whenever we think of something giant, we think of something loud
Yes.
and big and bulky. And then you have these giants who can be so silent that you'll never see them coming if they wanted it to. You know,
Right.
it just seems so counter.
Right. Well, there's elephants that live in the forests in like Asia, and they're noted to walk through the forest absolutely silently too. And that's an elephant, for God's sakes. So it
Oh,
is.
really?
It is. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't even know they were there unless you happen to catch a glimpse of them passing. So,
Wow.
you know, again, I think that there's something to do with the foot morphology in that. Like they have, like with elephants, they're basically, you know, their feet seem like they're incredibly flat, but if you look at the skeletal structure of an elephant foot, it's actually sitting. Its foot is actually on almost like the tiptoes of the phalanges, and then the you know the carpals and metacarpals and such are more at like a high heel kind of position, and underneath that is like a spongy cartilaginous tissue, and so they're like walking on these pillows essentially, like
Wow.
yeah. So maybe there's something going on with the bottom of a Sasquatch feet, and I did read an article recently where the person said the bottom of their feet is very similar to like a dog's foot with those thick pads.
Oh, right.
And
yeah.
so maybe that lends to how they walk through the forest more silently and why we don't. You know, our shoe soles are generally pretty rigid. What if we developed a shoe that was soft on the bottom, much like a wolf's foot, or, you know, something like that, where it would more, you know, have a cushiony effect on the strata around rather than, you know, crunching into a vise. Maybe it would be more spongy and wouldn't create as much noise. I don't know, just some thoughts, but at any rate, it's anybody's guess, but you know what? We are all out of time.
Oh my God! Look at that. Of course.
Look at that.
Every time. Every time.
So I hope you guys had a wonderful journey. Again, special thank you to I'm scrolling up to Nathan Nate. Yeah. Appreciate
Yes.
your kindness, brother. That's amazing. That really goes a long way to keep things rolling here on the portal, because this largely is a labor of love. Shoes are unnatural. You're right, Birdie Cuda. They are. Although walking around in the woods without shoes would be brutal. You know, I have thick soles on my feet because I prefer to be barefoot, but I still wouldn't go through the woods because sharp rocks and sticks can make a mess out of even thick soles. So,
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the great show, Brent and Sheldon. Love you both. Night Portal honeys. Sleep well.
Thank you.
Love you all. Thanks, Portal Mom.
Thank you, Nina.
Good night to you, and good night to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us again. Deb Varn will be here tomorrow night. She's going to do the late night burn with us. So I hope you guys will be here, and I hope you'll have your questions ready, and we'll call in and do some readings. Remember, call in early, hold the line, because the earlier you call in, the quicker you'll get your reading. That's all I'm gonna say, because I do answer them sequentially. I don't pick around and decide who. It's just whoever's next is next. So if you call in early, you're gonna get a reading in the first part of the show. If you call in late, you're gonna be in overtime somewhere, and that's gonna be
Pen.
Oh, we got something in there. It says pen, P-E-N. The voice thing said pen.
Oh.
I don't know what that means for sure. But again, what is the relevance of that? I have no idea. I have a pen on my desk, but I've got
Watch
several
out for
of them.
that pen.
Yeah, watch the pen. Is it going to roll? Is it going to fly? Nope. They are all staying put. Don't know. But anyway, the ghost box has been really quiet all night except for that. I did just detect his presence when that pen thing happened. So you can't hear it though, can you, Sheldon?
No,
You heard nothing.
I did not.
Nothing. All right. Well, that's all the show I got for you tonight, folks. 2 fun hours of the Paranormal Portal. Hope you had a great time in the journey. If you are not subscribed, please get subscribed. If you're not following the podcast on our normal platforms, which is iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Google Play, Castbox, Stitcher, and a gazillion other ones, you can find at least season 4, which is the current season, right now on YouTube by going to youtube.com/paranormalportal and seeing the playlist the podcast episodes. It's right near the top of the page. So you should be able to find it, and hopefully you'll listen in. If you like what you're hearing, go check out some more episodes. There's 3 other seasons of episodes. Basically, we're at 300 and some episodes now on the podcast. So the first season, I did 3 episodes a week. So for 52 weeks.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that was a lot of work.
Jeez.
Along with doing 7 shows a day on YouTube. So I was doing 10 shows a week back then for that year. But anyway, hopefully you guys will check it out. Please support us any way you can. Remember Teespring for your t-shirt, Paranormal Portal gear. I'm not wearing anything tonight, Paranormal Portal, but I have several myself. So, all right, guys, that's it for us. Sheldon, anything in passing or in closing?
Absolutely. With the Dad's invention of the new home base of the Paranormal Portal, we have the paranormalportal.net, where you can go ahead and see the countdown for all the shows, as well as all of the socials, all the places to find the podcast, as well as you can interview me. There's an interview me section on there. You can select a date and time in which Dad will interview you if you have any stories or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm always
looking. A chance to be interviewed.
Yeah, I'm always looking for new guests for the podcast. So if you've got a bunch of paranormal stories and you wouldn't mind sharing them, go to the paranormalportal.net page that Sheldon's talking about. And, to click the interview me button, you can pick a date and time and from the list of the calendar that comes up, and it'll email me and I'll meet you there. I got one on Sunday coming up, and should be a good one as well. So lots of things going on, but, I'd love to hear from you. So thank you, Sheldon, for that. And remember the Discord. You can always join the Discord to be part of the discussion. Again, there won't be a question of the week for tomorrow because Deb will be here. So we're just going to be doing readings for tomorrow's show. And that's why Sheldon's here tonight, is because otherwise, he would just be kind of sitting there without much to do. And we like to keep Sheldon busy. And right. So check it out. And remember the second channel, we have Paranormal Portal Pieces. Those are all videos Sheldon's put together based on the 2-hour shows here. So they're quicker formats, smaller, shorter videos. Give you the highlights, and you can decide if you want to check out the full-length videos yourself. But, that's all we got time for tonight. Remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Sheldon's making the heart.
Good night, everyone. Take care. Be safe. Shine your light.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night when Deb's here, and hopefully you guys will call in and be a part of it. So until then, get some sleep. You'll need it. Good night, everybody.
Good night.